Bollywood's original action hero and a romantic star of the 1960s and 70s. Let's take a look at we've taken of course a look at his life in pictures previously. So you can see those visuals on your screens, viewers, of course. On the left, you can see, of course, Dharmendra ji with his son while he was alive. But now, unfortunately, we're also showing visuals to you on the other side of your screen of the crematorium. So now, of course, we have my colleague Shahid Ansari joining me from the Pawan Hans crematorium. शाहिद, आप और क्या जानकारी दे सकते हैं? मैं कौन लोग वहाँ पे आ रहे हैं? आप क्या वहाँ पे माहौल हो चुका है अभी इस वक्त?
वैशाली, यहाँ माहौल जो है ऐसा है कि अपने चाहने वालों को देखने के लिए जो उनके दर्शक हैं, जो उनके चाहने वाले हैं, जो उनके प्रशंसक हैं, वो सभी लोग जो है पहले तो जब जैसे ही पता चला कि उनकी मौत हो गई है तो ये खबर जंगल की आग की तरह फैल गई। बहुत सारे लोग उनके घर पर पहुंचे और बहुत सारे लोग जो है इस वक्त जहां मैं मौजूद हूं, आप देख लीजिए, यहाँ पे जुहू पवन हंस यहाँ पे लोग पहुंचे। बड़ी तादाद जो फैंस की है वो यहाँ पे पहुंचे और उससे बड़ी तादाद पुलिस की है, क्योंकि लोगों की बड़ी तादाद है और पुलिस के लिए जो है लॉ एंड ऑर्डर मेंटेन रखना ये पुलिस की जिम्मेदारी है। तो इसलिए पुलिस भी जो है जैसे ही उनको पता चला कि यहाँ लेकर आएंगे तो यहाँ पे बड़ी तादाद में पुलिस भी पहुंची। और आपको मैं बता दूं कि अभी भी वैशाली यहाँ पे आमिर खान, अभिषेक बच्चन और शाहरुख खान समेत कई सारे सेलिब्रिटी अंदर आ चुके हैं और कुछ ही देर में अंतिम संस्कार की जो प्रक्रिया है वो पूरी की जाएगी। आपको मैं बताऊं कि वैशाली जैसा भी ये लोग जब आते हैं और जो भी सेलिब्रिटी आते हैं तो जो उनके फैंस हैं, जो उनके जो चाहने वाले हैं, वो उनके ऊपर टूट पड़ते हैं ये जानने के लिए कि आखिर यहाँ कौन आया है और वो कोशिश ये कर रहे हैं कि ये जानने के लिए कि धर्मेंद्र का आखिरी दीदार वो करने और उनके इस अंतिम संस्कार में कौन आया है ये देखने के लिए। आप देखिए अभी फिर जैसे इस तरह से जब कोई आता है तो आप देखिए कि लोग जो है उसकी गाड़ी के ऊपर जो है उमड़ पड़ते हैं और फिर पुलिस जो है भागती है, उनको जो है तितिर बितिर करती है ताकि जो है लोग जो है कोई किसका किसी भी तरह से कोई एक्सीडेंट वगैरह ना हो, लोग जो है इसमें जो है जख्मी ना हो या लॉ एंड ऑर्डर को लेकर कोई खतरा पैदा ना हो। तो इसलिए लोग जो है बड़ी तादाद में जो है भागते नजर आ रहे हैं और ऐसे ही माहौल है। आप देखिए जैसे ही जब कोई आता है तो शमशान भूमि का ये गेट खोल दिया जाता है, उसके बाद गेट के बाहर भी बाउंसर रहते हैं और गेट खोल दिया जाता है, फिर उसके बाद ही उनको अंदर जाने की इजाजत दी जाती है। अब जो भी लोग हैं यहाँ पे चूंकि उनके चाहने वाले, देखने वाले और उनको चाहते हैं कि आखिरी लम्हों में जो है धर्मेंद्र को वो देख ले, लेकिन शायद ऐसा यहाँ संभव नहीं होगा क्योंकि आप देखिए यहाँ पे देखिए महाराष्ट्र सरकार के कोई मंत्री आए हुए हैं और आप देखिए कि किस तरह से वो अंदर गए। उनको प्रोटोकॉल है तो जाहिर सी बात है कि वो अंदर जा सकते हैं, लेकिन आम आदमी के लिए, अपने चाहने वालों को देखने के लिए रामदास अठौले अभी यहाँ पे गए हुए हैं। और इसके पहले जो है आपको मैं बताऊं कि फिल्म इंडस्ट्री से जुड़े सभी छोटे और बड़े सेलिब्रिटी सब अंदर जा चुके हैं और जैसे ही जब लोग जाते हैं तो ये विले पार्ले जो शमशान भूमि का गेट है वो बंद कर दिया जाता है ताकि उनके प्रशंसक जो है वो अंदर ना जा सके। आप देखिए वैशाली भीड़ आप देखिए कितनी है, यहाँ से लेकर तकरीबन 200 मीटर तक ये भीड़ है और आपको मैं भीड़ दिखाना चाहूंगा। भीड़ देखकर आप अंदाजा लगाइए कि उनके चाहने वाले लोगों को कितने बड़ी तादाद में जो है बड़ी तादाद में लोग यहाँ पे जो है आए हुए हैं और आप देखिए कि उनको जो है सब चाहता है, हर जो लोग हैं यहाँ वो हर एक यही चाहता है कि आखिरी लम्हों में जो है उनका दीदार कर ले, उनको देख ले, लेकिन शायद ऐसा संभव नहीं होगा क्योंकि भीड़ इतनी ज्यादा है और अंदर के हिस्से में किसी को जाने नहीं दिया जा रहा है। और यही वजह उसकी ये है कि पुलिस जो है यहाँ पे बड़ी तादाद में तैनात है कि लोगों को जो है तितिर बितिर करने के लिए। और उसके साथ धर्मेंद्र के जो चाहने वाले लोग हैं वो बाहर के हिस्से में मौजूद तो है लेकिन चाह कर भी वो अंदर नहीं जा सकते। इसके अलावा घर के बाहर भी जो है उनके जो है बड़ी भीड़ थी। अब इस भीड़ को जो है जब उन्हें जैसे ही पता चला कि उनका अंतिम संस्कार यहाँ होगा तो जो घर के बाहर की जो भीड़ थी, जो उनके चाहने वाले लोग हैं वो यहाँ आ गए और वजह उसकी ये है कि लोग चाहते हैं कि हम जाके वो भी इस अंतिम संस्कार के इसमें शामिल हो जाएं। फिर उसके बाद जो है लेकिन चूंकि भीड़ इतनी ज्यादा है कि लोग यहाँ कैसे जाएंगे। आप भी देखिए कि पुलिस के साथ साथ जो है जो लोग हैं उनकी तादाद यहाँ पे इतनी ज्यादा है कि संभव नहीं है कि वो अंदर जा सके। अभी भी अगर आपको मैं बताऊं कि जो फिल्म इंडस्ट्री से जुड़े लोग हैं वो और मंत्री ये सारे लोग जो है आए हैं, चूंकि उनके साथ जो है प्रोटोकॉल है तो वो अंदर बड़े ही आसानी से जा सकते हैं, लेकिन एक आम आदमी अपने उस चहेते को देखने के लिए
शाहिद, मैं आपके पास लौट के आऊंगी अब. नाउ ऑफ कोर्स आई हैव जयदीप सेन, हु इज अ फिल्म एंड टेलीविजन डायरेक्टर, and he's of course the first assistant director on Jeet and Kick, also the director of Crazy 4. Jaideep, welcome to the broadcast. We're of course sharing very, very unfortunate news with our viewers. Dharmendra ji has passed away at the age of 89. What would you like to say?
It's so unfortunate that I have only words to express my extreme grief for this colossal tragedy. We give this pedestal, great legend, to a few personalities in our lives, and very few personalities actually go beyond these adjectives, and Dharam ji is definitely one of them. For me, Dharam ji will always be is. There is no way I can refer to him as was, because he has moved to the great beyond physically. But I'd like to believe that Veeru is going to keep him alive forever and ever and ever.
All right. Now, Jaideep, have you interacted with him? Anything that you'd like to share?
Yes, I was so blessed that in my very first film as a clapper boy, Dharamji had played a guest appearance. The name of the film is Trinetra, and Dharamji had played Mithunda's father. And I had attended not only the shooting, I had also attended the dubbing of the film, which Dharamji had done in his own studio, Sunny Super Sound. And I was, I think at that time, only 20. For me, as it is, I was in a daze, because I could have never imagined that someone whom as a child I had idolized as Veeru, I would ever get to see him in person. And I shot with him. And by the way, I am one of those few people, like folklore goes, that Dharamji's fingers were so thick that they did not fit into the circles of the dial of a phone. So he used to dial a number with a pencil. And one day when I'd gone to his bungalow to convey a message from my ex-boss, Mr. Harry Baveja, I actually saw Dharamji sitting in his office and dialing a number with that pencil. So I witnessed what people say is folklore. And when he completed the dubbing, my boss, Mr. Harry Baveja, and I, we went into the dubbing studio, and Mr. Baveja thanked Dharamji profusely. He shook his hands, blessed him. And then the wonder of wonders happened when Dharamji himself offered his hand to me to shake. I was in a complete trance. I just couldn't believe that this 20-year-old boy would have the good fortune of shaking his hands with Veeru. And that too, Dharamji had himself offered his hand to me to shake. That was Dharamji's simplicity. That was Dharamji's greatness. That's the kind of love that Dharamji possessed in his heart for anybody and everybody. And he never treated anybody unequally, but gave them the same kind of love. That is the kind of personality Dharamji is. And I was also very blessed that I was the associate director on Sunny Saab's directorial debut Dillagi, which again Dharamji had produced. And one day when he had visited the set at Mehboob Studio, Bandra, Mumbai, and when he was leaving, I was standing outside the floor. He stopped his car. The window went down and he put his hand forward again to shake my hand. This is superhuman. Nobody except a great soul like Dharamji treats an unequal like an equal and gives him this kind of warmth and love. That is what Dharamji has been. That is what Dharamji is. And I, through his personal attendant Jairaj, used to keep in touch with Dharamji. As and when there was something in the context of Sholay, which is an all-time favorite of mine, and Veeru, like I've said, is going to keep him alive forever. I used to always, through Jairaj, manage to speak to Dharamji. and I used to convey my emotions about him and about Viru. And he used to receive those compliments with such humility, and he used to express such love to me whenever I used to speak to him. So I must say I'm very, very blessed that on a personal level, I have had the good fortune to interact with Dharamji.
You know, Jaideep, it's very interesting you say that, because Dharamji was known for his gregarious nature. He had a big, big heart. You know, they call him the He-Man of the Indian film industry, but of course he was very soft inside. Everybody says, we were speaking to Raza Muradji in the morning, and of course Komal Nahata, who's a film critic, and everybody talks about their interactions with Dharmendra ji, how much of a big heart he had, how he liked to help people, and how just friendly he was, just like you're saying. I mean, he wouldn't differentiate if it was a senior actor or a junior actor. We've spoken about his wonderful roles, his iconic roles. We all remember Sholay. But, you know, even in Rocky and Rani Ki Prem Kahani, which recently came out, a Karan Johar directorial, he was absolutely fabulous. You know, even at that age, there was so much discussion around his role in the film. What more would you like to add to that?
Well, I would like to add two things. A, that because I was a part of Dil Lagi, I've had the good fortune of visiting his farmhouse umpteen number of times at Khandala. And one evening when Sunny Saab and the writers of the film, Mr. Shutanu Gupta and Sanjay Masoom, and my colleague Sangeeta Dighe, we were at the dining table, Dharamji also came and joined us. And after a while, Sunny Saab and Shutanu Gupta went into the living room to watch a film, and Sangeeta, Sanjay and I, we sat on the dining table with Dharamji and we requested him to take us down memory lane. And imagine sitting in Dharamji's house under his roof. He spent almost an hour with us, taking us back to his Sanewal days and how it all started. His unadulterated love and adulation for Dilip Saab, how he used to sit for hours on a staircase just to get a glimpse of Dilip Saab. So I was just speaking to Sanjay myself. In fact, when I got the sad news, the first call I made to was Sanjay, and I told him, "Ab, badkismati se ye khabar sach hai." And we reminisced about that evening that we have sat with Dharamji in his own house. And time is always great to great people. 21, which releases on the 25th of December, that performance of Dharamji's is going to go through the roof. Because when I saw the trailer of that, I called Sunny Saab's personal attendant Tularam, who attended the shoot of 21 with Dharamji. That one dialogue that Dharamji says, and with the kind of emotion that he said it, that हमारा बेटा एक किस्सा था जो अब खुद किस्सा बन गया, when he's talking about his grandson who sacrifices his life. So I would like to, I'm so grateful to God that after Dharamji has physically moved on, this performance and this film 21 is going to once again reiterate his greatness and his exemplary craft on the medium of acting. And I am, again, it's a bonus that he is playing the grandfather to Jay's real life grandson Agastya in 21. So somewhere this bond of Sholay and this identity of Sholay is attached to each and every cast member and crew member of Sholay.
Appreciate you joining me on the broadcast, Jaideep. Thank you for sharing those personal anecdotes. And of course,